Second half, moments away here from the Coliseum. Tommy Schegler along with Keon Henderson, and we are bringing you the home opener of IPFW season, what is thought to be probably the most historic IPFW basketball season in the history of the school. Of course, their first season as a D1 school in a league. The Summit League will kick off with their action here in a few months. Right now, we have warm-up action with a little bit of out-of-conference games, and right at the top of that list on the mind of Dane Fife right now is how to beat the Valpo Crusaders. IPFW has lost the first 6 matchups of the times that they have met up with Valpo on the hardwood, and IPFW trying to break that string tonight. They're down 9 as we get ready to start the second half.
I think most coaches will agree that basketball games are broken up into 5-minute sections. Let's see what the Dons will do in the first 5 minutes of the second half.
Igbavoa, it's the first time we've seen him back in the game for a long time after the 3 fouls in the first half, and he's working on Egerick, and I believe that they're going to call a foul on Z for a hold.
I don't know about that one, but the referee's out there in the stripes.
Little ticky-tack, and that's going to be the 3rd on Egerick. So to inbound the ball will be Huff. He inbounds it, then gets it handed off back to him, goes right around Z. That's just too easy, but he misses the easy shot in the lane. Demetrius running the other way.
I tell you, Tom, nothing ever good comes out of allowing anybody, whether it's a guard or a big man, to get in the middle. Absolutely, and that was just too easy that time. Burrows the pump fake and then couldn't hit when he went up with it. Coach Fife wanted a foul call on that one. Diebler in between the rings, looks it over, kicks left side to McPherson. He's somebody that the Dons have kept in check. Traveling is right. Go the other way. So that's first turnover for Valpo. Not of the second half, people. But a good sign nonetheless. Mistakes being made by the Crusaders. That's something the Dons are going to have happen if they want to get back in this thing. Burrows working on Igbavoa on the block. Kick out to Demetrius. They work the 2-man game. He's got to be careful not to be called for 3 seconds down there. Oh, and a charge called on Burrows, dropping the shoulder. But I'll tell you, one thing we're not having a problem with is being physical at the beginning of this second half. We've got 2 quick fouls, and we've got to be careful with that because we need them going down the stretch. Second foul on Burrows. Can't have him get in foul trouble pretty much all year. We need him in the middle. All right, so here's McPherson bringing the ball up for Valpo. Still no scoring so far in the second half. We're a little over a minute in. Don's still down 9. Huff trying to change all of that. Line drive shot won't go. Here come the Dons the other way. Demetrius, outlet to Jakari. Up the floor, spin move, no good. Burrows offensive board. He goes up strong and puts it in. You know, I'm pretty excited about how the Dons have come out this second half. Really aggressive on both ends of the floor, but they've got to get back. McPherson from the corner, no. Fighting for the board, gonna go off Huff and over to IPFW. You think Coach Fife got after him? Maybe just a little bit. All right, so the Dons down 7 now, can cut it to 5 with 2. Mentioned that first 5 minutes, and the first 2, they've looked very good. Here's Egerick down low to Burrows. Double team came right away. DeWitt gets into the lane, elbow jumper, good. One of the greatest shots in basketball. 1 dribble, 2 dribble, pull up. Prevents a charge and all of that. Good to see that he didn't force up the 3. Got the defender in the air, went around. Nice patient move by the senior. And a turnover again. They throw it away down low. Demetrius gonna attack, you know he will. Down the middle, blocked by Huff, battle for it. And it's gonna stay with IPFW. And he had an open man on the wing, but can't fault Demetrius. He's a bulldog. Maybe Demetrius thought that his calling was point guard. I mean, he took the thing from coast to coast. I'm telling you, he just attacks. And it's fun to watch, but
sometimes you need to slow down a little bit. DeWitt, basically the same jumper as before, and now the senior's starting to get going, and all of a sudden, IPFW down just 3.
One of my favorite shots in basketball. 1 dribble, 2 dribble pull-up.
It is working for DeWitt Scott. And we will take a break. When we come back, we'll see if the Dons can pull in front of Valpo. We'll be right back. IPFW trying to stun the Valpo Crusaders here on a November night. Down just 3. They were down 9 at the half and a quick 6-0 run to start the second.
Be interesting to see how the Dons will make a stop or if not here on this defensive possession.
All right, so here's McPherson in between the rings. Goes right side to Diebler. Bet you they try to dump it down low and work some kind of high-low. Igbavo working on Z and foul away from the ball, and he better watch it because he did not like that foul call one bit. That is his 4th.
That referee did not like his reaction to the call either.
Yeah, he came dangerously close to get a T there.
The Dons kept their hands high the entire time. Their hands never went below the waist. That's the way you play good, sound defense.
All right, so 4 fouls on Igbavoa, and the Dons could tie this game with a 3. We're at the 17-minute mark. Scott trying to do it, can't get it to go. And Coach Homer Drew going really big right now with McLeod and Igbavoa out there at the same time. Needs Z and Burrows to step it up down low, and that's exactly what Egrick is doing right now. Cuts off the baseline beautifully and gets the board. Outlets to Demetrius, and now they're gonna run. Nice cross-court pass to Jakari to Burrows. Oh, he can't handle it.
Dons have got to get back.
McPherson loses it going into the lane. Another turnover. Coach Drew up off the bench. He really upset with the referees right now.
Tommy, we talked about this earlier. The referees always favor the aggressive. The more aggressive you are, the more calls you'll receive.
Bad pass by Zelko right there as it goes out of bounds. And the Dons are only going to get so many opportunities. They have the momentum right now. You can see the frustration on Dane Fife's face. They have the momentum right now. They got to capitalize and try to at least even this game up.
Well, basketball is a game of runs, and when it's your turn to run, you've got to capitalize. You can't have a lot of turnovers during your run.
16 minutes left to go in this game. Who's going to make the next run? Will the Dons continue, or will Valpo start to pull back away from IPFW? McLeod on the block, spins under the hoop. Reverse won't go, fight for the ball. The Dons are getting to every loose ball.
Valpo's shooting percentage coming down right about that 45%, and look at the score. We're right back in it. Shooting percentages are so important.
Diebler steals
Good
it
hustle.
momentarily. Ball on the floor, leaves it for Huff. He throws it down in the foul.
Ooh. Not only threw it down, but threw it down hard.
Man, that was a big play.
I think we're in for a barn burner. These guys are about to get fired up.
It is going to be fun to watch the last 15 minutes and 42 seconds of this game. Dons down 5 when we come back. able to come back and win this game, you might point to this play right here as the key of the game. Diebler, a beautiful bounce pass after the steal, and Huff throwing it down with authority. That stretched the lead out to 5 for Valpo right now, and Huff trying to complete the old-fashioned three-point play and does so and gets it back out to 6. Tommy Schegler along with Keon Henderson. 15:42 left to go in this ball game. IPFW down 42-36.
Tom, it's time for the Dons to adjust now. They had their run. Now Valpo's going to try to get one. Got to play solid defense during this next 5-minute section.
Yeah, we're coming up on that second 5-minute part that you're talking about, and here comes DeWitt. Nice pass, but he's double-teamed. Burrows immediately went under the hoop and found an open spot.
Nice display of athleticism.
Yeah, he is a fun player to watch. He can move long. Only downside is that he is a little skinny, and when he really goes up against some teams got some meat down there, that's going to be hard. Diebler trying to answer and rattles in a three. That hurt.
Seemed like Diebler had that on his mind the entire time.
45-38 is your score. Demetrius into the lane, gets it to Burrows, and that was an easy bucket.
Now we got to be careful. We can't trade basket with him. Somebody's got to stop somebody, and I hope the Dons are the ones to do it.
Here comes Huff. Gets it to McPherson, top of the key. Now Diebler working. Ball is blocked, and here comes Jakari. Jakari fouled as he went to the bucket. Looked like he was going to get ready to pass that over to Burrows. McPherson probably a good foul there for Valpo.
Yeah, as I stated earlier, there are some fouls that are good fouls. When you're going to give somebody an easy two, you foul them, coaches tell you, send them to the line, let them earn it.
Absolutely. On that one, just the second team foul. Really, we haven't had many fouls at all on either side over the first 5 minutes and 30 seconds of the second half. Only 3 team fouls on IPFW, 2 on Valpo so far. Lloyd back in the game as McPherson will take a seat. As Coach Drew likes to really keep a strong rotation going and keep everybody fresh. Runs a lot of players in and out.
DeWitt had 9 points against Wisconsin. He's got about 7 now. Right on his average for the year.
Here's Demetrius, lost the handle on things and a foul call. And the Dons might have gotten a break there.
Valpo seems to be pretty frustrated with the way calls are going right now.
Hey, you got to get some breaks along the way.
Coach Drew kind of reminiscent of Phil Jackson standing up with his hands on his hips, looking pretty frustrated.
That was the second on Jared Lloyd. Nick Bavoa really the only player on either side in foul trouble right now. Bot swings it. Demetrius baseline, hangs over Bucci, can't get it to go.
Would have been a good time for that dribble pull-up that DeWitt has shown us a couple times.
Yeah, he went a little too far in that time. Lloyd in the corner. Top of the circle to Diebler. Diebler spinning into the lane. And foul going to be called.
Yeah, it looks like he got it.
That one's going to go against Botts. Freshman after the great debut against Wisconsin. Really been kind of quiet here tonight so far. No points. He is 0 for 3 from the field. As Demetrius Johnson going to take a seat. And Blackmeyer will come back into the game. Little will shuffle in for Valpo as Hampa comes out. He continues to be somewhat quiet here.
Yeah, he's pretty quiet, and it's good news for us.
5-point game, 13:34 left to go in this one. Been close throughout. IPFW has come as close as 3. There's Lloyd.
Pretty good defense by the Dons, nice help.
Great rotation that time. They still have him on the run. Finally found the open man. What patience. Oh, that was a beautiful offensive set.
That ball touched nothing but the bottom of the net.
Howard Little dropping it in. 48-30. Dons down 8 once again. Zelko, the Burrows, 15-footer long.
Here's that dangerous portion that I was talking about, that 5-minute segment. It's a game of runs. Valpo's taking that run right now. It seems like we got a foul here.
That's Lloyd drawing the foul. And Coach Fife needs to stop the bleeding to this as quickly as possible. Blackmeyer picks up the foul.
Lloyd's at the free throw line. Looked like he came straight from the gridiron right to the free throw line. That guy's arms are ripped.
Student section giving Lloyd some business, and they were successful there.
First one pretty strong off the back line.
All right, second attempt on its way and in. Back out to 10 points. There's Lloyd getting into the lane and drawing that foul.
Got to get some guards to come up and get the ball out of the big man's hand. That's exactly what the press is designed to do. It's designed to put the ball in the hands of people who are not used to handling it.
Now here's a guy that is used to it with DeWitt. Now the lob down low to Burrows. In trouble corralling, now goes, powers in on Bucci and gets it to go. 49-42. Don's down 7. They need to string together 2 straight possessions scoring with nothing coming the way of Valpo on the other end.
Burrows leads all scorers with 13 points for both the Dons and the Crusaders. He's come on strong in the second half.
Diebler comes up empty, and here come the Dons. Plackmeyer to Botts. Botts to Scott. He gets to the foul line. Z, 3 on the way, no good. Here comes Lloyd. Got to get back on D. Lloyd's got that crossover working, man. He's going right around Plackmeyer and Botts every time. Timeout on the floor. Don's down 7. Looking to make a run when we come back. Back inside the Memorial Coliseum, 11 minutes, 40 seconds left to go in this game. The Dons have been as close as 3 here in the second half. Right now they're in the midst of trying to weather the storm of a Crusader run, and they have gotten it back down to 7. As we join live action back down on the court. It'll be Valpo's ball here. Dane Fife coming out of the timeout with a lineup of Egerick, Burrows, Botts, Jakari Johnson, and Demetrius Johnson. And Homer Drew runs a beautiful set out of the timeout. Comes away with an easy layup on the weak side from Lloyd. Now here's Demetrius. Botts comes off the screen. Zelko. Dons need a bucket right here.
Be an excellent time to get one.
Double team. They've been going to Burrows a lot. And a foul called down low on Bucci.
Hey, Burrows is hot. The guy's got 13 points. He's shooting 50% from the field. He's made 5 of 8 from the free throw line. He's got 4 rebounds and assists. He's playing an all-around good game. He only has 2 fouls, which means he's got about 3 to use.
And a foul called right off of the inbounds play. I think that one is going to go against Howard Little. This may come down to who does better from the free throw line. One more team foul against the Dons, and they will put Valpo into the bonus, and 2 more for Valpo, and they'll put Dons in the bonus. Bots can't hit on the 3, and man, he has not been able to find the range tonight.
One thing you always tell shooters that if you're a shooter, you just keep shooting.
Lloyd doing just that, dropping one in, and back up to the biggest lead of the ball game right now for Valpo at 12. Dons have got to answer here as Shikari loses the ball out, but they say that Valpo touched it last, so it'll stay with IPFW.
You know, when I played here from 99 to 04, this is very reminiscent of what would happen when we would play Division I schools. We would compete with them, but there would just be those spurts where it seemed that they were superior, whether there would be 5 minutes or 7 minutes, and those few minutes would just change the entire game.
All right. Well, Don's still trying to prove that they belong, and if they want to prove it in this game, they got to answer. And Burrows continues to be money down low.
So he's the best weapon IPFW has right now. The Dons really need him to continue to keep it going while somebody else steps up.
There's Lloyd. Now McPherson to Huff, and traveling called on Huff. I was just thinking about the situation with Bots. This is his first game in the Coliseum, and I've heard a number of different IPFW players that have told me over the last couple of years that this gym and this building can be deceiving with the way things look. So, and it's unfortunate IPFW has a situation where they don't get to practice in this building that often.
Well, see, over at the Gate Center, a few feet behind the rims, there's a brick wall.
Yeah.
And it kind of throws off the depth perception when you have a wall 5 feet behind the rim at the Gate Center. Then you come to the Coliseum, and the nearest seat is 100 feet.
Right, exactly.
So it's kind of a depth perception type thing.
And that foul went against Bucci down low. He held Egerick, and now Igbavoa and Bucci both have 4. So they're really going to be forced to go to the cloud exclusively if this continues.
You know, the Dons are going to have to continue to play hard, because I don't know if there's ever a thing called home court advantage for them, because they only get to play here when the other guys get to play here.
Right. Yeah, there's not a lot of home court advantage, and a foul on the floor on McPherson, and that's going to put the Dons into the bonus. So,
good place to be. Coach Fife can now tell them in the huddle, listen, some of our threes may not be falling because we're only shooting 27%. Go in there, get some fouls, because we're shooting almost 80% from the free throw line. So it's a better win for us.
And Demetrius is 4 for 4 tonight from the line, so he has definitely contributed to that 80%. Just as I say that, he almost throws up an air ball on the front end. Needing to stop. 10-point game, 9:33 left to go in the game. Foul away from the ball goes on Egerick.
Whistle seems to be blowing a lot here.
Very quickly.
Yeah.
That one may have been a makeup especially. Pearson takes a seat on the bench. Diebler back in. Tell you what, as you see Coach Drew, this is an impressive group of players that he's got. He's very deep. I mean, he can shuffle these guys in and out as Igbavoa throws up an air ball. But I remember recalling this exact same thing last year. They're young and they're deep.
Coach Drew is no stranger to coaching.
That's
no stranger to developing players. Just ask your son Bryce.
Exactly. 19 years at Valpo. He's one of the longest tenure head coaches in the country. And timeout, 30-second timeout for Dane Fife. He didn't like what he saw over on the offensive end. Coach Drew, he can coach a little bit. You mentioned ranked 9th among active D1 coaches in career victories. So there's a story with Coach Drew. That's what Coach Fife is up against. And for tickets to IPFW, I should say, I want to remind everybody, please call 481-6000 or go to IPFW Athletics website at gomastodons.com. That's 260-481-6000 or online at gomastodons.com. Athletic.com. Once again, 10-point game, 9:13 left to go in this one. Probably a wise timeout there, Keon, by Coach Fife, because he needs to get some efficiency out of these offensive possessions.
Yeah, they're going to keep coming, but we got to be efficient, as you said. We got to make sure that we're putting them in the holes more than we're putting it back in their hands.
All right, here's the set. 3 from Jakari is in. All right, so that was a nice open look. Cut it to 7. Now I got to play some D. Crowd back in it a bit.
Kind of feel that momentum switching a little bit.
3, and just like that, it may end. I mean, those are the type of shots that can kill a spurt by one team. And just like that, the arena goes silent. That 3 dropped in by Howard Little. Dons need to answer. Z to the rack. The big fella, the left-handed finger roll.
We'll take him any way we can get him.
It wasn't pretty, but it counts for 2. All right, 8 points. Oh, Demetrius almost had the steal. Little into the lane. Found Igbovoa. Can't hit the easy lay-in.
Dons need to be efficient. Need to get a good shot. Don't have to be in a hurry. If they want to pass it around, they could.
Oh, Diebler comes away with a great steal. Layup on the other end. Second big steal he's made.
I tell you, these Crusaders will not go away.
10-point lead for Valpo with 8 minutes to go in the ball game. High screen set by Z. Now Scott looking for Burrows. A little bit deeper, a little bit further out than he would like.
Dons are doing a little bit of a standing. We've got to move around.
Eggerick to 3. No, won't go. Diebler giving off to Lloyd the other way. This is one of those possessions where you feel like the Dons need to stop it. They might be in trouble in this game, and that one is going to go against Eggerick. Down low, working on Igbovoa, and a technical foul called on the reaction by Zelko Eggerick. We're trying to actually listen to what the refs are talking about here at the scorer's table. He got called for the personal foul working on Igbovoa down low, and then he pulled his shirt out. It was tucked in. He pulled his shirt out, and technical foul came quickly after that, and with 7:22 and down 10, that might have been the mental error that eliminated any chance of IPFW winning this game.
Referees don't like to be showed up.
That's true. It also shows Eggerick the door because he now has 5 fouls. So he finishes up his night with 2 points and 5 boards. And Valpo's going to get 4 free throws here because they are in the bonus. So they'll get a 1-on-1, and then they'll get 2 technical fouls, and then they'll get the ball. Timeout on the floor. We're going to try to sort this whole thing out when we come back. Valpo is going to be at the foul line for what looks like maybe a half hour. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Diebler at the line. hits on the first.
No, Tom, some mental errors can just absolutely kill your hopes of getting back in the game. And to have a technical foul with 2 free throws and to get the ball back and to be down 12, that's a bad mix for the Dons.
Yeah, absolutely. So Diebler knocks in the first, which were the 2 technicals, and now Igbavoa will go to the line to shoot 1 and 1.
Airball this last one. We'll hope he'll do again.
And drops this one in.
Tale of 2 shots. One doesn't touch the rim. The other one doesn't touch the rim.
All right, Igbavoa, second one, good. All right, so now it's a 14-point game. This is the biggest lead of the game for Valpo, and a reach in gonna be called. That's on Little. And that's his second on the night. We could be here for a while, Keon, because both teams well into the bonus now, and the whistles have definitely come out of the pockets of the refs here in the second half.
I could probably speak for the coaches. Coach Drew doesn't want the clock to stop. Coach Fife would like it to stop as often as possible.
Now Burrows missed the front end of his one-on-one. There's Igbavoa, the Hampa. Boyd Scott's done a great job along with others on Hampa all night. Igbavoa turns, faces, now gets into the lane. Burrows, just great defense. This is great
Excellent defense. Excellent defense.
Straight up the whole way, got a partial.
Valpo won something, but there was nothing there.
No, there was nothing there. If anything, Igbavoa was out of control going into the lane. It will stay with Valpo, however. This is Diebler. Behind the back. 6 seconds to go on the shot clock. Igbavoa strong to the rack.
Excellent foul. You don't give anybody anything.
Ball jammed up in between the backboard and the rim. But you're right, that was a good foul.
You can imagine the force that was created by those 2 guys over 250 just hitting each other like that.
Yeah, Burrows is a fun player to watch. He's another one not going to be back down, or not going to back down from any challenge or any competition, not intimidated by the big stage whatsoever. Igbavoa, after that air ball minutes ago, now 3 for 3 since then from the line. And I successfully jinxed him, but unfortunately, Burrows stepped on the line trying to save it from going out of bounds, so it's going to stay with Valpo.
Jerron is giving it all. He's giving it his all on both ends of the floor. He is playing an excellent ball this evening.
15-point game. Here's Hampa. And another foul away from the ball. Trying to fight through a screen. And they're going to get DeWitt Scott trying to fight through that screen out on the perimeter.
I tell you, at this rate, some of these guys will be one grade higher before this game is over if these whistles keep blowing.
6:41 to go. Valpo trying to extend the lead out to 15. And he does so.
Igbavoa is not fazed by that air ball one bit. He's making it.
And he's got the homecoming crowd right here, the student section right behind the basket, giving him a hard time, but he drains both of those in nonetheless. All right, here's Burrows. Not sure if that's exactly the role we want him to have. And kick ball by the defense, if that's what you were saying earlier, Keon, with the press.
It puts the ball in the hands of the people you don't really want handling.
Here's Demetrius. Don's just having trouble getting anything going. Bots up top, working on Lloyd. Now Demetrius, 6 on the shot clock, gets into the lane, double clutch shot, good.
Got one of those 5-minute segments left. Hopefully this one will belong to the Dons.
Yeah, it's a 15-point lead, a lot to make up in the last 5 minutes and change.
But you know what you do at this portion of the game if you're a coach, you're telling them, listen, don't give up. This game is still winnable. Crazy things have happened. And what you want to do is you want to build a sense of urgency in your team that they play the same way, whether they're up or whether they're down.
Boyd gets into the lane, block shot by Burrows. The big mitts come up, fight for the ball, and jump ball finally called. And it's going to go over to the Dons.
Tell you, not bad hustle. That ball means something.
It's dangerously close to a goaltend by Burrows, but as we take a look at it here, actually, I guess it was still well on its way up. That long wingspan there by Burrows. See, he gets it inbounds, a little bit of trouble.
It's amazing to see Demetrius handling that ball, bringing it up like that.
Does kind of remind you of Scottie Pippen. He's got a lot of Scottie Pippen in his game. Ben Botts. 15 on the shot clock. Nice pass down low to Burrows. Burrows working on a smaller little and foul on the floor. So Burrows will go to the line.
Did you see how all 5 players just kind of went to Burrows like a magnet? They all surrounded him, wouldn't let him get the ball up even if he wanted to. They were going to make sure that he was either going to get fouled or they were going to get a hand on the ball and steal it.
Burrows can't get it to go. By the way, Keon, I know it's been a few years since you've been playing, but did you notice the new Mastodon over there? Brand new Mastodon uniform mascot this year.
Didn't notice it. I know the one we had when I was here, he was brown and
kind of struggling.
Couldn't tell if it was a female or male with that dunk right there.
Oh.
I mean, he just threw it down. He threw it down. That was Howard Little.
Yep.
With a 2-hand slam right on the baseline.
He's had a great second half. And this game really kind of getting out of hand now. It's a 17-point game with 4:28 left to go as the Dons going to turn it back over again to Valpo. And Coach Fife going to take a timeout, 30-second timeout as he's seen his team go down by 17. Here's the new, I wish we had a telestrator so we could really draw in the new things. But you'll notice a nice new trunk, the 08 model right there, tusks, all pristine. And of course, I think because of homecoming, he's got the nice dinner jacket on.
Got his nice Versace jacket on with his blue dyed top.
He's kind of pimped out. He's got a little James Bond going on tonight.
Feet are a lot bigger than I remember.
Yeah, they're new improved hooves or whatever you want to call them.
Well, I knew who our mascot was when we were in college, and we used to play a joke on him all the time because when he got hot, he would often take his head off, and we would tell him nobody is supposed to know who you are.
As they just unveiled that the new Mastodon for the inaugural season here in the Summit League, and there will be better nights for the Dons than tonight. As you know, I can already hear the coaches after this game talking about the process of learning how to win and learning how to finish. It's got to be frustrating at times. And, you know, I've had conversations with them where, you know, you're trying to encourage and pick them up because there is improvement, but it is hard not to notice the same thing as Lloyd got into the lane and was out of control, got called for the charge. But, you know, you see the same script being played out time and time again of them coming out with fire and intensity and then just kind of running out of gas at the latter stages of each half.
Tom, you hit the nail right on the head. There is a process, and you have to learn it in winning. Winning doesn't just happen. Losing does, but you have to know how to win.
Well, another lesson tonight learned. Jakari short on the jumper.
And one of those lessons is when you're down this much or going late in the game, the last thing you want to do is take a quick shot so that it looks worse than it really was. This is where you work on your fundamentals. Howard Little had that dunk a few moments ago, you kind of get the idea that he was upset about that jump ball that happened a few seconds before that.
Lloyd can't find the range on the three. Here comes Demetrius the other way. Kick out, Bots. He throws it out to DeWitt. DeWitt hangs and bangs in the lane.
He really has that 1-2 dribble pull-up shot down pat.
3-minute mark, 15-point game. Timeout for Coach Drew. Full timeout on the floor. 68-53, and we will be right back. IPFW down 15 late in the game here. 3:08 left to go in the home opener against Valpo. And as we look at some of the highlights, this, of course, DeWitt Scott getting into the lane, and there's that beautiful medium range jumper that you've enjoyed from DeWitt several times tonight. But we were just talking during the break about that timeout that Coach Drew just called and some of the messages that might be behind it.
Well, yeah, with 3 minutes to go, the IPFW fan is saying why. But Coach Drew is sending a message that if I'm going to coach with 3 minutes left, you better play with 3 minutes left. And even though we're up big, don't you play like it. You play like the score 0-0.
Yeah, exactly right. And we have another quick timeout on the floor after a couple quick turnovers and an official timeout on the floor. We're going to keep it right here. Let's talk a little bit more about Coach Drew. We mentioned a couple things. 19th season at Valpo, 9th among active Division I coaches in career victories. He has 571 career victories. That places him 37th on the all-time coaches list with at least 10 years of Division I coaching experience. 29 wins shy of 600. He would become the 29th Division I head coach to reach that milestone. And there's no doubt about whether he's going to get there. It's just when he's going to get there at this point.
It kind of reminds me of a Jerry Salone out of Utah. Just kind of solid, been in the same place and still working at it.
The latest Mastodon scores and stats are available on the World Wide Web at GoMastodon.com. Check up on the teams, the players, order tickets if you want. The official Mastodon Athletics website, GoMastodon.com. I go on it frequently. It's an awesome site. Rudy Jovic has done a fantastic job with it. Easy and fun to play with. Always a good time. GoMastodon.com. All right, we're going to get back to live action here. 3:02 left to go in this game, 68-53. And really, everything done in this one. Oh, and a travel call. That one going to go against Michael Rogers. Everything wrapped up in this one, basically, except for the final score. But you would like to see from Coach Fife some good things out of your guys in a spot where they know they're probably going to go down, but they continue to fight down the stretch here.
Well, yeah, Coach Fife is no longer coaching for today's game. I believe he's coaching for the future, letting guys know this won't be the last time we're down, and we still got to play hard even when the score is lopsided.
That was DeWitt Scott underneath, coming down with the rebound and drawing the foul. Demetrius got everything but the bottom of the net with that 3 attempt. Rattled all around and finally out.
Got to be thinking what Coach Fife is thinking right now. I mean, with the guys just getting into a league and a lot of excitement in the air, got to be thinking.
Here's that last play. Demetrius getting it, and the senior continuing to fight down low, dropping in the free throws. Yeah, I think it's an exciting time for this program. We mentioned earlier in the broadcast, probably the most anticipated season in the history of the school. It's just such a monumental thing to finally make it to that goal that the school had been working towards all the way back when they made the jump back when you were playing. So I mean, it was a long process and it was a hard process for a lot of guys, but I'm sure as a former player you can look out and be awfully proud of what has come through and what has ended up here program-wise, and think about all the blood, sweat, and tears that you put into it as well.
Well, it's exciting to see, and I was a part of the first Division I team who played the first Division I game here, who played the first game at the Coliseum, had a lot of firsts, and it was a historic year. But I think that what they're doing today is probably a little more historic than what I was a part of. And I still have the basketball from the first Division I team where all of us signed it. I've got it in my office now, and some of those guys are going on to play professional ball, and some of these guys are going to go on and play professional ball, and it's a learning process. And, you know, I implement some of the things that I learned here. We struggled as a basketball club, and you know, it's developed a fight in me, you know, to wake up every day and continue to go to work at what I do and to continue to build a life. Because of some of the struggles we've had here, I persevered, and it helped me build some character.
What do you see as the future? I mean, if you could look into your crystal ball and kind of think about the most optimistic outcome, not for just this year, but where the program is going. I mean, where would you say IPFW can rise to?
I believe that IPFW can do some of the things that we saw some of the mid-majors do, some of the Kent States of the world, and some of the Toledos of the world, and different schools, George Mason. I believe even Chicago State has made a rise in the name for itself, and IUPUI in Indianapolis. I believe we can do some things like that here in Fort Wayne, and with Coach Fife having such excellent basketball IQ and DNA and structure, I believe that he'll be able to do some things for this program that will blow the minds of Fort Wayne. Possibly even sending some of his players to the Mad Ants.
What do you think? What do you think? And I agree with you. I mean, I think that when it comes to those types of goals, those are definitely attainable goals for this program. I guess I question what the timetable is for those goals to be able to be completed, because you know, obviously it's still a working process, and it should be interesting to see how long it takes for something like that to come to fruition.
Yeah, I've heard this said before, that the Chinese have a theory that it takes about 25 years for any organization to become solid in structure.
All right, 14-point game. We're under 2 minutes now as DeWitt Scott drops it in, but yeah, no, I mean, that is a good point, and you can't be too impatient. I mean, we live in a world that's very impatient these days, and it takes a little while for it to come together, and you just have to wait and see what will come about. But man, this is an exciting time for the program, no matter what the outcome out here tonight will be.
I think that as the schedules get tougher, one of the goals that IPFW could look at in the short term is making sure they have some consistency in some 500 or above seasons. I think that's a great point, a great place to start, right? To try to get above the 500 mark, and then we can talk about some conference championships, and you know, if we win that, then you get that automatic berth into the national thing, and who knows what you can do once you get there.
Right. Now there's Jakari Johnson with a nice finger roll, and that cut it to a 10-point game, but another quick whistle. Coach Fife not enjoying these calls late in the game, and in fact was just warned by the ref to maybe pipe down just a bit. So just over a minute remaining in this game. 71-61. Valpo gonna walk out of here with a win. They'll be a perfect 7-0 against the Dons all time. Rogers misses on the first. And empty on the second as well. Chikari, 3-ball on the way, short once again. That has been a case more often than not tonight. Diebler lead pass to Bucci. Bucci fouled and one.
I'll tell you one thing Coach Drew has not done, and it's a testament to the Dons. He still got some of his horses in there. He's got some of his best players in there, which means he knows that the Dons have an opportunity to strike back, or had an opportunity, I should say. And he left some of his better players in the final minutes of the game. So that's a good thing for the Dons to look at.
Yeah, you can kind of see the frustration right now on Coach Fife's face when you look at IPFW's schedule. Next up for the Dons will be Manchester, a game next Wednesday night here at the Coliseum. And then after that, at Indiana State, a winnable game. They've gone to Indiana State and gotten wins in recent history. At Nebraska, that's gonna be a rough one. But then Marygrove comes to town. And then we start to get a little bit into the Summit League schedule. So, I mean, the next several games, Manchester, Indiana State, the Dons could definitely, realistically, even their record back up to 2-2. And then you look at Nebraska and Marygrove, you think, barring upset, that's probably a split. So Dons could be 3-3 very easily headed into the early portions of the Summit League schedule.
If you allow me to play devil's advocate here for a moment, you know, sometimes in Division I athletics, you play up to your competition and you have a tendency to play down. And they can't play down to the competition and say, okay, it's Indiana State, so we can take a day off. Right. They need to play those guys as tough as they would Wisconsin or Valparaiso or anybody else.
Absolutely. They've gotten hurt with that in the past. There's been a couple of occasions, although it has gotten better in recent years. Chikari comes away with the steal. He's off and running the other way. Lays it in. And that cut it to a 10-point game. We're under 15 seconds to go now. As Diebler just going to dribble this thing out. And this will be
our last shot for the day.
Yep, the end of the game. Homer Drew comes in, brings his Valpo team into the Coliseum, comes away with a 10-point win.
That does it for us, the Dons. Unfortunately lost the game, but I believe we have not seen the best of these guys yet. Absolutely,
totally agree. We're going to talk a lot about it. We'll talk to IPFW coaches when we come back. 64-74, the Dons lose this one, 74-64, I should say. A 10-point loss in their home opener of the season to Valpo. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about this one. Welcome back to the post-game show. 74-64, IPFW falls to Valpo. Tommy Schegler joined with IPFW assistant coach Dan Beret. We're going to look over some of the highlights from this game and talk about this game at the same time. Coach, a situation where you guys were able to cut it to 3 at one point, and then it just kind of got away from you.
We came out with a good energy, I thought, in the second half. We got about 4 or 5 straight stops, and then they had that steal and the and one that brought it back up to 6, and we really couldn't come back from that.
Yeah, showing some of the ball movement, and DeWitt Scott was able to get it going just a little bit after being so cold in the first half. Really got it going in the second half. Talk to me a little bit about this team, and there was a portion of the first half where you really struggled to find points offensively, but in the second half it seemed like things started to come together. And I was impressed, this being the first time I saw you guys play 29-28 on the boards. You guys win on the boards. I mean, it seems like it's a scrappy team and one that is going to fight for you.
It is a scrappy team, and it is one that's going to fight for us. In the first half, kind of what happened was we got in a little foul trouble with Z getting his second foul, so we were forced to go with a little smaller of a lineup, and that put us in a position where we had 4 guards, and we had some guys that weren't ready to be screeners and weren't, kind of sure of their role. Then in the second half, we were able to go back with Z back with us, and things kind of started to shape out. We were able to get DeWitt going. DeWitt got his second foul there early in the first half, so we couldn't get him many looks. And they did a good job closing out and containing his 3, but DeWitt, being the good player that he is, was able to get shot fakes and stuff going to the basket.
How about Jakari Johnson? 18 points for you. Get 6 boards along the way. No assists, but you have to be pleased with also getting 4 guys overall in double figures and 18 points from Jakari Johnson.
No question. Jakari did a great job for us. We're really emphasizing getting out and running in transition, and Jakari did a great job doing that. He got a lot of easy baskets and really kept us in the game in the first half, really.
Yeah, you see him right there getting that one with the steal at midcourt and then the lay-in. Of course, this is a game and a kind of a little bit of a rivalry, even though it's not a conference game. You guys have had some hard-fought battles with them, but it's good to get a game against like this type of team early on in the season that you're able to battle against, because it's a passionate game early on in the season. No
question. Valparaiso is definitely an established program. They're constantly fighting to make the NCAA tournament. They used to be in the Mid-Con, which is our conference now the Summit League. And we've never beat Valpo, so this is a challenge that we're going to continue to face. I think IPFW all-time is 0-7. I know in Coach Fife's tenure, we're now 0-5, and it stings. They keep coming to the Coliseum and they keep playing well, and it's a hurdle that we're still trying to climb, because let's face it, Valpo is one of the better mid-major programs in the Midwest and in Indiana, and that's what we're competing to be.
Manchester next, 6 days from now. That seems to be a game where you guys can get back on track before you go to Indiana State, a place where you guys have won recently.
No question. We're gonna give them tomorrow off and then come back and work some things out on Saturday and then get ready to go on Wednesday versus Manchester. Although, they aren't a Division I team, it's a team that we can't take lightly, and it's a team that we're going to have to come out and play our best against. And then we start a tough road stretch at Indiana State and at Nebraska, and those are 2 tough games. But like you said, we've had some success in Terre Haute a couple years ago, and we got a lot of those same guys that were with us, and hopefully we can go in and do it again.
Coach, thanks a lot. Appreciate it. No, it's not the outcome that you wanted tonight, but definitely some things to build on. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, Tommy. We'll keep moving in the right direction here.
All right, let's take a look at the overall stats here as we start to put them up on the screen. We mentioned several times throughout the game that shooting percentage was something that IPFW was struggling with throughout the game. It ended up at 38%. They were able to bring down the field goal percentage for Valpo, but still, as we bring Keon Henderson back on, 53% from the field, still more than you want to be giving up.
Yeah, you don't want to give the opposition half of the shots, and it's difficult to win ball games when you turn the ball over more, right, and you also give them a better shooting percentage. Almost impossible mixture to win a game.
One of the things jumps off of the stat page to me, and it's shocking to me considering the fact that the Dons lose by 10, but they won on the boards tonight. And, I mean, that's impressive considering a talented Valpo lineup and a team like IPFW is going to struggle all year on the boards.
Well, you know what? When I played, that was one of the things that Coach Noel told us. We've got to defend and we've got to rebound. And sometimes, big doesn't always mean that you're going to be the best rebounder. It reminds me of a guy named Allen Iverson, who's in the NBA right now, and I believe he's averaging about 6 to 8 rebounds right now. And there are guys who are 6'5", 6'6", 6'7", who don't even average. Rebound is about heart. It's about going out there, finding a body, and if you find a body, the ball will find you.
Really, I think this game comes down to, it comes down to a lot of things, but one of the things that is tough for IPFW, we talked throughout the broadcast, is when the outside shot is not falling, they are going to struggle, and tonight they only hit 1 3-pointer in the second half. Overall, only 4 of 15 on the night, 26%. So, some of those threes, Bots was open several times. Scott had a couple looks. Some of those threes drop in, this could be a different ball game.
Yeah, it definitely is a different ball game. I tell you what, as I watched the game and I saw some of the guys shoot the threes, they had confident strokes. It looked as if they thought they would make it. But, you have some of those days where no matter how good you think you are prepared and no matter how well you shoot the ball, it just doesn't go in sometimes.
Right.
And it just seemed like to be one of those nights for the Dons.
They will have a better day. You just saw the individual scoring. Some great efforts put out by the Dons. We mentioned in the interview with Coach Beret that 4 different players in double figures tonight, led by Jakari Johnson with 18. So they lose by 10, but we will live to fight another day, beginning with Manchester here 6 days from now. So 10-point loss for the Dons. That will do it for us. Keon Henderson making his debut tonight. Good job, my friend.
Been a pleasure, Tom.
And we will continue to see you throughout the year. And that is it from the Coliseum. Your final score is 74-64. Be sure and tune into my TV on Thursday, December 6th for more Mastodon men's basketball action when the Thunderbirds from Southern Utah University come to town in a Summit League conference game. That's Thursday, December 6th at 7 o'clock right here on my TV. For Keon Henderson, I'm Tommy Shegler saying so long from the Coliseum.